I want to thank Pine State Society for providing our ASL interpreters. I also need to thank a couple of co-sponsors, Indivisible Saginaw and Indivisible Waldo. Thank you very much. Our next speaker has a lot to say. She is the Executive Director of Maine Transnet. And she and I just met online within the last few weeks. I've seen her speak, and I know the pain that her community is feeling. And we came up with an action right after this rally today and this march. And we hope that some of you will go over there afterwards. It's a training that they're doing all over the state this year to train allies, because a lot of us want to help, but we don't know what to do. They can tell you today. And if you can't make it today, but we hope you will, from 2 to 4, we hope you'll find them online on Facebook and sign up for one more of their trainings. Thank you. And with that, Quinn Goormley.
My name is Quinn Goormley, and I am a proud transgender American. I am honored to serve as the Executive Director of the Maine Transgender Network, the largest statewide transgender community organization in the United States. So much of our work at Maine Transnet is about simply keeping people breathing. Our community has had a challenging year, dealing with continued affronts to our ability to live, dealing with the tragedy and crisis of multiple suicides, and grieving the loss of a record 31 transgender women of color in this country to murder since this date last year. Our challenges, like our community, are not new, and they are not unique to this political moment. Yet, it is undeniable that this year has been made harder by an administration so obviously opposed to our progress and liberation, and so willing to score points in the polls by obstructing and unraveling generations of blood, work, and change. This administration is, without a doubt, the most anti-trans government in U.S. history.
Yes!
This administration sees a world where 36% of transgender people are living in poverty, and 1 in 4 transgender people are dealing with homelessness in any given year, and yet seeks to cut benefits. This administration that claims to want safer schools is putting targets on the back of transgender kids. This administration, which wants to make our nation stronger in the world, is denying the service of transgender veterans. This administration, which invited an increased epidemic of unprosecuted hate crimes and murders against transgender people of color. This administration, which sees an ongoing epidemic of HIV and AIDS, and yet wants to give doctors a license to deny care to our community. And this administration, which wants to block transgender people's access to public accommodations such as bathrooms and locker rooms. And let's be clear, it's not about where we pee, and it's not about women's safety. It's about denying transgender Americans the opportunity to live our lives in public. Because at the end of the day, this administration is working to erase transgender people from public life in this country. So, I'd like to share with them a little advice that I learned when I went to my first Pride Parade. When we throw glitter in the air, it's not just because we want to throw the most fabulous party of the year. No. We throw glitter in the air knowing that no matter how hard they scrub, no matter how hard they clean, the haters and the bigots and the politicians who profit off of denying our humanity will never be able to wash away the proof of our existence in this world. We are a community that stands in giants' shoes. Our forebears survived through the HIV and AIDS epidemic, generations of conversion therapy and malpractice, and numerous anti-queer and anti-trans policies throughout the Reagan, Clinton, and Bush administrations. We inherit the work of bold and visionary activists and organizers who threw bricks at Stonewall and shattered glass at Compton to win us the right to walk down the street, who acted up to win us vital healthcare access during a pandemic, who knocked door after door after door to win us protections in employment, housing, and the law, and who laid their lives bare for the world to see to win us the right to marry whomever we choose. We stand in the shoes of the survivors of Pulse and countless other acts of violence against this community as we continue to survive every single day in a world that tells us we do not deserve to exist. And I know for a fact that whatever hateful, malicious, science-denying policies this administration throws at us, we will survive them too. We will draw power from those who seek to destroy us, and we will thrive in this world as exactly who we are. The transgender community is on a rising tide, overflowing the political constraints of elections before us. Transgender people are running for office across the country. In 2017 alone, we elected 9 openly transgender people to office. We won school board seats in New Hampshire and Pennsylvania, made new city councilors in Minneapolis and Palm Springs, and beat the very author of Virginia's bathroom bill for his seat in the House of Delegates. These leaders and those who will join them are propelling our movement forward. But not one of them, not one, would be there without a deep bench of allies in the voting booth. So remember, as we move into 2018, the most important act of allyship is to show up and vote. Vote for candidates whose communities are so desperately in need of representation because they're the ones bearing the brunt of this administration's ire. Vote queer, vote trans, vote for women, vote for people of color, vote for candidates young and old, and vote for people with disabilities. Our liberation can be found up and down the ticket. Thank you very much.